consultant. I'm currently working with a company called Cookie Jar Interactive. I've been here almost in Dubai, almost 10 years, and I'm expertise in paid advertising. I'm really passionate about imparting my knowledge and experience, and I really love blogging. And I love this session to be as interactive as possible. So feel free to ask any questions. You can interrupt me. I'm also looking forward to learning from you all. So let's see what we will cover today. So I'll be talking about why Google search ads and what are the right format and targeting that we can optimize your campaign, and what are the bidding strategies we can use for Google search ad, and how you can measure your campaign and how you can optimize it for better. So I hope this is clear. Okay. So why Google search ad? As you know, Google advertising program is to advertise your business on Google and its partner network. Before I jump into why Google ads, let me explain to you how Google work. So Google always start with a person. So this person has lot of questions and queries. So what they will do? They'll go to Google and they'll search. So here is your opportunity to advertise your website or your services to answer this person's question or query. So that's why most of the business have seen almost 200% return on investment through their Google search campaign. And you can increase your leads and you can increase your customers through Google search ad. It's really fast, it's really transparent, and it's a really flexible marketing platform to work with. So do you have any experience by running a Google ad campaign? Any of you guys here? No. Okay, you can put it on the chat if any of you guys ran a Google ad campaign, or
we have a few answers. So some people are saying no, some people are saying yes.
Okay.
Haba is saying yes, Islam is saying no. S or Babian says yes. Yep, we have a few yeses and no's.
Great, baby, great. Okay, I'm also looking forward to learning from you. So let's see, before you set up your search ad, it's very important that you understand your goal first. What is your business goal? Okay, so if you have these three goals, then I recommend you to use Google search ad. Suppose you have an online electronics shop, okay, and you want to purchase, you want to come customers to your online shop, and you are looking forward to looking forward for more sales, then you can use Google search ad. And another one is you can generate leads. If suppose you have a real estate company, or you have an insurance company, and you are looking forward to generate more leads for your business, you can again use Google search ad. Another thing is boost web traffic. Suppose you are opening a salon, okay, and you have different services, like you have spa, you have hair treatment, or you have laser technologies, and you want your customers to know about your services. Then also you can use Google search ad. So make sure you are really clear about your objective before you select any marketing platform. Especially Google search ad, it should be very clear that you are looking forward to drive sales or generate leads or boost your web traffic. If you're completely into brand awareness, I would prefer you to go for Google display campaign than Google search ad. So how you can start with Google search ad? So you can just go to ads.google.com, and you can, if you have a email ID, you can log into your Google account and you can start with Google search ad. So Google search ad it has actually three layers. One is like campaign level, ad group level, and ad level. In campaign level, you will be able to set up your billing address and your country, location, everything. And in ad group level, you will be able to add your keywords. In ads level, you will be able to create different ad for your business and also your landing pages. Any doubts? All okay? Okay, so this is the ad account structure. If you're an agency, then you will have a master account, or if you're a business person or you have your own business, then you will have your own ad account. In that ad account, you can create different type of campaign. Okay, so I'm explaining with an example. I work with Pan Emirates. I hope you have heard about that company. It's a furniture company. It's an online shop. So how I set up that campaign, if you're searching for anything related to their brand name, like Pan Emirates Furniture, Pan Emirates Offers, New Pan Emirates Offers, all those are coming under one campaign, under one campaign. That is the search brand campaign that I have mentioned here. And another thing is search non-brand campaign that is coming in Pan Emirates. They have different categories like dining, furniture, bedroom, kitchen. All these will come as a different keyword for that non-brand campaign. Under each ad group, I will add different keywords. Suppose it's a dining ad group, then I will add all related keywords, dining keywords like dining set, dining chair, maybe dining furnitures, all these kind of keywords under that ad group. Then I will create for that particular ad group 3 or 4 different ads and landing pages related to those ads. So I hope this account structure is clear for you. So you have account level, you have ad group level, and you have ad level. Under the ad group level, you will create different keywords. You will add keywords related to that theme. So here is the keyword strategy. So you have your goal set ready and you have your ad account structure ready. Now you need to check for your keyword strategy. So why keyword strategy matters? Because as I told you before, it always starts with a person, right? So this person is going and they are searching something on the Google. These are called search terms. So your keyword should match this search term, then only your ad will appear on the search result. There are 4 types of keywords that are available with Google. One is exact match. Exact match, we will use the bracket around the keyword. Here I have showed you an example of tennis shoes. So someone is searching. If you're really confident on what people are searching, then only use exact match for your business. Suppose anyone is searching tennis shoes, then your ad will appear. What is phrase match? Phrase match is we are writing the search term around the quotes. So anybody is searching red tennis shoes or tennis shoes reviews, your ad will appear. But if somebody is searching for tennis kid shoes, your ad won't be appearing. So that phrase should be there inside that keyword. Another one is broad match. Broad match is like if you're looking for a very good reach or you want to reach more people through your campaign, you can use a broad match. Broad match and broad match modifier are almost similar, only we are adding a plus sign before the keyword. So why we add the plus sign before the keyword? To control more, we need to control our campaign more, that if somebody is searching with tennis and shoes, then only you need to appear your ad. So I recommend you to use broad match modifier and phrase match for your campaign to get more control over your campaign. And if you really know, like, okay, this is my keyword and I know what people are searching, I know my customers journey, then you go for your exact match and then you go for your exact match. Any questions now? All good? Okay. So what are the best practices that you can use? Think like your customer. You know your customer better than us, right? So you know your business, you know what they are searching for. Think like them, like what they will be thinking about my business, how they will be typing. Then based on that, you create your keyword strategy. Organize your keywords by theme. Like as I told you before, as an example of Pan Emirates, create an ad group, create related and enter related keywords inside that ad group, and create different ads related to that ad group. So everything should be coordinated. Hello? I hope you can hear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so everything should be coordinated perfectly. Like you create your ad group, then you enter your keywords, then you create your ads. Use negative keywords. What is negative keyword? Suppose somebody is searching for free furniture, okay, and I don't want to come my ad under for free. Free I can use as a negative keyword, or discount furniture in Dubai. Then I can use discount as a negative keyword. So use negative keywords for your to optimize your campaign better. You can also look search term report in Google AdWords account. You will be able to see your search term report. Based on the search term report, you can add some keywords under your keyword ad group, and you can add negative keywords. You can take, okay, for a particular search, I don't want my ad to be appear, and add that keyword as a negative keyword in your ad group. Now, let's see what's the ad formats and targeting available with Google Search Ad. Here there are two types of ad formats. One is expanded search ad and another one is responsive search ad.
Navia, sorry to interrupt. We have a few questions coming in. It'll be good to answer them now before we move on.
Okay.
We have a question from Nikhil saying, can you please share some more examples for a negative keyword?
Yes, negative keywords is, suppose you are looking for women's clothes, okay? You are selling clothes and you don't have women's clothes available. Then you can add woman as a negative keyword. Suppose you have men's shoes, you are a shoe company and you are selling shoes for maybe heels you are not providing, you can add heel as a negative keyword. Or you are only providing men's shoes and you are not providing women's shoes, woman will be a negative keyword. Or anything free and discount will be always would be your negative keyword, because if somebody is, especially if you are adding a broad match and anybody is just typing free, your ad will appear. So make sure all these words are you are adding as a negative keyword. Is clear, Nikhil?
Yes, and we have a question. Yeah, Nikhil, please go ahead and answer. And then you have a question from Hiba.
No, that's clear enough. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. So we have a question from Hiba asking, can you please repeat the difference between non-brand search campaign and brand search campaign?
Sure. So yeah. So when you're creating a campaign, you don't want to mix your ad group together, okay? Suppose, as I told you, I have a company called Pan Emirates. So Pan Emirates is the brand name. Whatever keyword coming with the brand, like you have a Nike, suppose if you're taking Nike shoes, or best Nike offers for Ramadan, everything, whatever related to brand, the direct keyword is, I will put all those keywords under search brand. And non-search brand is like, what are the services they are doing? Suppose if it is Pan Emirates, they are giving bedroom furnitures, they are providing dining sets, they are providing kitchen equipment. So all these will be different ad group under search non-brand. Is that clear? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you properly.
One sec. Yeah, she's saying, Navia Hiba is saying thanks, she understood it, it seems.
Okay. Thank you. So let's continue with ad formats and targeting. All good?
Hi, could I ask one small question, please?
Yeah, sure.
The previous two slides, so there, you said there's broad match modifier and there's broad match.
Yes.
Yeah, so the third and the fourth.
Yes.
What is the difference between both of them?
Yes. So here I have given the example as tennis shoes as broad match, right? If a keyword, if you're taking a keyword and if there is any close variations like synonyms or misspellings, your ad will appear with broad match. Suppose anyone is typing tennis shoe, your ad will appear. Best tennis shoe, your ad will appear. Red tennis shoe, your ad will appear. Women's tennis shoe, anything with tennis or shoe or shoes, your ad will appear with broad match, which will give you a greater reach. But with broad match modifier, suppose if they are typing red tennis shoe, your ad won't be appearing, because in your keyword, in their search term, it is mandatory to be there that tennis and shoes. That's why we are putting that plus sign before that keyword. Is that clear?
So if
I can't hear
Um,
you properly. Sorry.
can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes, it's fine now.
Okay. So just so that I understand it properly,
Mhm.
broad match is you put tennis shoes,
Yeah.
and if there's another search terms of women's tennis shoes,
Yeah.
your ad won't appear.
No, broad match, it will appear. Broad
It
match,
will.
yeah. Broad match modifier, if you are putting, suppose you are putting woman tennis shoe, okay? Here I have put a plus sign for shoes.
Mhm.
So your ad won't be appearing for woman tennis shoe. But with broad match, only for broad match, if anything, if you're typing tennis shoe, red tennis shoe, or tennis shoes, anything, your ad will be appearing. Or only if you're
Okay.
putting, your ad will be appearing. Yeah.
So it is better to use modifier, because if they write tennis red shoes, then
Yeah.
the ad will appear in the modifier, not in the
Yes.
broad match.
Yes. So
Gotcha.
I
Thank
prefer to
you.
use broad match modifier because it will give more control to your campaign. But if you're looking for a wider reach and you have a really good budget, go for broad match.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about ad formatting and targeting. So there are two kind of ad formats. One is expanded text ad, another one is responsive search ad. Through expanded search ad, you can add a minimum of 3 headline and 2 descriptions. Same with responsive search ad, you can add 15 headlines and 4 descriptions. So I usually recommend to create minimum of 3 to 5 ads under one ad group. And with expanded text ad, you should be very specific. You should be very specific on your call to action, and also you can answer people's queries. Suppose you are a real estate company and you are looking forward to get more leads, you can add your first line as like best property in property for rent, or cheap property for rent in a particular place, maybe in Dubai or Dubai Marina, or a specific place. You can add as a headline on your first. I prefer to use your keyword on your first headline. Second, you can add any call to action, and third, also you can put any unique specific thing about your business. So add 3 headlines and 2 description for your expanded text ad. Then responsive search ad, if you're creating, suppose you're creating 5 ads under one ad group, then make sure that at least you are creating one responsive ad in that ad group. Here what will happen is like with responsive search ad, Google will be able to show relevant ad to a relevant customer. So if you're putting like 5 or 15 headline, Google will automatically take relevant headline for that a particular customer. Then you will be able to optimize more with responsive search ad. Google will optimize which one is performing better, then that ad they will Google ad will be showing to your customer. Next, let's move to ad extensions. So what is ad extensions? Ad extensions are extra information that you are giving with your ad. There are so many different type of ad extensions. Mainly there are 2 type, universal extension and additional extension with based on your marketing objective. So what is universal extension? That is 2 types of extensions, 3 types of extensions are available. One is site link, call out, and structured snippet. What is site link? Site link is like maybe if you have a website and you have different services and some of your services are performing better. As I told you, a salon example, maybe in your spa services performing better, then that spa service URL you can add as a site link. Then what is call out extension? Call out extensions are very short, very specific, and you try to explain you are highlighting your business unique service through your call out extension. Suppose 24 hours delivery or free delivery, all these things you can add as a call out extension. It's better to add nearly 6 call out extension in your campaign. Next one is structured snippet. Structured snippet are you are providing extra useful information to your customers, like suppose about the type, or you are selling clothes and you have different types are available. You can add that as a structured snippet, and services you can add as a structured snippet. Then as I told you, color you can add as a structured snippet. All these things you can add additional information as a structured snippet. Then what are the other extensions available? One is call extension. You are trying to get more phone calls for your business. You can add phone number as an extension. Make sure you are enabling call tracking so that when people are clicking on that phone number, you will be able to track it. Another one is location extension, which I think you are aware of Google My Business account. If you added your business on Google My Business, that you can use as an extension. Make sure you are updating your phone number, address, and all those details with Google Business. An app extension, you have a website and also you have an app, and you want to interact people more with your app, and you want them to download your app, you can add app extension on your search ad. Any doubts? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sure. So let's go with targeting. What is the right targeting? It's available. What is the right targeting you can use with your Google search ad? As I told you, first one is the keyword targeting that we already discussed about. Next one is demographic targeting. Okay. In demographic targeting, you can target your people through age, gender, or parenting stage, or home ownership. For Pan Emirates, I used to use age targeting of 25 to 55 because I know they have this purchasing capacity, and also gender, I keep it open. And if you are looking to generate more leads for your school or college or any institution, you can use parenting stage. Or you are looking to generate more leads for your rental or sale apartments or something like that, you can use home ownership. Then audience targeting, there are different kind of audience targeting available. One is affinity audience, in-market audience, similar audience. So you need to understand the difference between affinity audience, in-market audience, and similar audience. Affinity audience are your potential customers. Like for Pan Emirates, it's a furniture company. So I'm using home and decor as my affinity audience. That is my potential client that I can reach. In-market audience are people who are really searching for similar services. Like I have a chocolate company, and candy and chocolate will be the my in-market audience kind of people, because they are actively searching for that kind of a service or business solution at the same time. What is similar audience? You can check your campaign data, and based on that, especially remarketing data, and based on that, you can create a similar kind of audience set with your Google search ad. You can see your conversion. Maybe from in your Google ads, 10 people got converted. They are coming under one kind of category, and I want to create a similar audience who are getting converted through my website. Then you can go for a similar audience. Next one is remarketing strategy. There are different kind of remarketing strategy available in Google Ads. Why we need to use a remarketing? Anybody knows about remarketing here? Have you heard about it before?
Yes.
Okay, so remarketing is you are reconnecting your customers who are already engaged with your business. Okay, so you need to know before you create a remarketing strategy, you should know your customer's journey, and you will be able to put your ad at the right time to your customers. So there are two type of remarketing strategy available with Google search ad. One is tag based, another one is customer match type. What is tag based? Tag based, you are adding a tag on your website and you are able to capture the engaging customers through your website, right? You are adding a tag and you are collecting all the information about whoever is coming to your website. Then what is customer match type? You have already your list of people. Maybe you have your phone number or you have your their email IDs. Then you're uploading this data to Google and telling Google, okay, whenever they are searching for something, show my ad. That is customer match list. And another one is DSA targeting. DSA targeting is you will be able to, this is dynamic search. So through DSA targeting, what you can do is like you can target similar audience and you can retarget them. Okay, there are 4 kind of targeting available there. One is through your landing page. You can add your website as a landing page through DSA targeting. And another one is you can add a target based on the category. Suppose you have an online electronics shop and you can target only digital camera category as a DSA targeting option. You can you can land them to that category page, and you can create similar kind of pages. Like suppose using URL string, like you have a blog, okay, and your website starts with www.example.com/blog and then your title of that blog. Then you can, using the URL string, you can target people whoever is interested in the blog reading, or they want to you want to take them to your blog. Then another kind is page feed. Page feed is like, suppose you have a sale on your TV and you want to create a custom label on sale and you want to take them there. Then you can also create page feed through DSA targeting. Why you need to use DSA targeting? Because suppose somebody is searching for hotels nearby or nearby hotels. These are the same person searching for same thing, but they are searching differently. Okay, and we have apps. We have like mobile search. We have voice search. So to tackle all these situations, Google introduced this DSA targeting. I hope this is clear for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So let's continue with our bidding strategy. So we covered our ad format, then we have our targeting ready. Now let's see what are the bidding strategy available in Google Search Ad. So we have manual and smart bidding strategy available. I prefer to go for manual bidding because I know what is the CPC for each keyword, how I can control it better. But if you are a new person and you want to try Google AdWords, I prefer you to go with smart bidding. This automated bidding strategy are like we have target CPA, target ROS, maximize clicks, maximize conversion value, and target impression share. These are the automated bidding strategy. So what is this automated bidding strategy and what are the best practices that we can use? What is maximize clicks? You want to get more traffic to your website. Okay, you have a budget and you are looking to get maximum people to enter into your website. Then you can go for maximize clicks. When you're using maximize click, it's better avoid bid limit. And also, you in any smart strategy, you need to make sure that you are giving time to Google to optimize that campaign. I prefer you give minimum of 7 days to optimize it better, then you make any changes to that campaign. Otherwise, you won't be able to optimize it better. You will be changing, then it won't be reflecting correctly. So give at least 1 week time to run that campaign, then make any changes on the bidding part. Then next one is conversion based bidding. On conversion based bidding, we have 2 type of conversions available. One is target CPA and another one is maximize conversions. What is the difference between target CPA and maximize conversion? Target CPA, we have a specific cost per acquisition. Suppose you are telling, I need a lead for $8, then that is target CPA. Maximize conversion, within your daily budget, Google will try to get maximum conversions as possible. But here the problem is like sometimes your daily budget will get exhausted and you will see an increase in your budget than you expected, because Google will always try to push to get maximum conversions within that budget. And what are the things you need to take care when you are doing a conversion based bidding? You don't need to set your target CPA too low, because maybe you are getting a conversion for $10, you have put $5, then you won't get that conversion to happen, right? So it's better to keep it a bit open and focus on maximize conversion volume and allow time for optimization. The same thing goes for conversion based bidding and value based bidding. You should make sure that you are already enabled conversion tracking. You can go to Google Ads account and click on measurement until you can see conversions, and you need to enable with a developer, or if you know how to add tag, then do it through tag manager also, but you need to make sure that you have already set up your conversion tracking ready. So with value focused building, if you're looking to get more return on investment for your campaign, then you can go for target ROAS or maximize conversion value. Here you are calculating what is the return on investment that I'm getting for my ad spend. For each click, there will be a conversion. You will calculate what is the percentage of people are converting from that click and what is the value added to that conversion. So based on that, you are creating your target ROAS and maximize conversion value. The last one is target impression share. Suppose you are looking for your brand awareness and you want to show your ad on a particular place of your Google search, okay, for a X percentage of time. Then you are going for target impression share. Here you are, there are three kind available. One is absolute top of the page and anywhere on the Google search. And you can put percentage of time. Suppose I want to show my ad on the top of the Google search for 70% of the time. This is how you will set your target impression share. So here also you can avoid bid limit, and you need to understand this strategy is working for Google brand awareness. For me, I recommend if you are looking for your brand awareness and if you have a really good budget, then go for target impression share. And if you're looking for leads or getting more conversion, go for conversion based bidding, that is set a target CPA or maximize conversions. And you are looking to get more traffic, go for maximize clicks. It's clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So next is your measurement and analysis. How you can, it's very important when you set up a campaign and you are running that campaign, it's very important that you measure your campaign and you optimize it better. There are so many measurement tools available. For me, I use for keyword research, I use Ubersuggest, Keyword Planner and Word Tracker. You can use different tools, but it's better to use tools to analyze your keywords. And for analysis, make sure you are linking your analytics account with your Google search ad, where you will be able to see how many people, your audience strategy, like who are visiting your website and from where they are coming, all those things, all those details. So definitely you need to link your Google ad account with your Google Analytics account. And what are the best practices for measurement and analysis? First one is, as I told you before, you need to enable conversion tracking. You need to know what percentage of your click is getting converted into your customer. So if you have objective of getting more sales or getting more phone calls or app download, newsletter sign up, anything, you implement conversion tracking. Then measuring your return on investment. Make sure your sales or your whatever you are generating, getting the maximum return on investment for your ad spend. So each ad, when you're getting converted, you understand the value of that conversion. Like suppose you are selling something, and what is the value of return on investment you are getting for that particular campaign. Analyze it with each campaign. Then you can always look your search term report. You can check what are the best performing search term and include that into your keyword list. And if it's not, then add into your negative keyword list. Also check your quality score. Google will calculate quality score of your ad. You need to create relevant ad and keywords and landing page. I prefer you to do SEO. I hope you heard about SEO, search engine optimization. Do some search engine optimization for your landing page and also your ad. As I told you before, in the ad format site, in the first line, I used to make first headline, I used to add my keyword as a headline. And second, I used to add call to action. And third, I will put some unique selling point of my business. So these are the things will help you to improve your quality score. And as I told you, you can always link your Google Ads Analytics account and use any other analytics tools or conversion metrics to analyze your campaign and optimize it for better. I hope you guys understood this. It's a heavy session. I know you have a lot of questions. You can ask now.
Thank you, Navia. We already have one question from Nujud, who's asking to please repeat your process.
What process?
Which one? Yeah. Nujud, which can you clarify which process you are referring to?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
She was just asking about, actually, she was just telling us about the SEO and landing page. And then she said that the process that she would do herself, like she would put a unique selling point. So you can just repeat that, please.
Okay, for the ad format, yeah, as I told you, for the expanded ads, you have 3 headlines and 2 descriptions, right? Here, you can see the screenshot here. Here you have 3 headlines and 2 descriptions, okay? For the first headline, suppose it's a real estate company. What I will use, best property for rent. That is my first headline, okay? That I included my keyword there. And also I gave a solution to that customer's problem. In the second headline, I can add call to action, like buy now or click here or something like call to action I can put. And third one is the unique selling point is like, suppose you are giving, here you have an ad, discount and soon. Okay. So this is how you are creating your ad. Is that clear?
Yeah, so basically this is for the expanded text ad, right?
Yes, this is for the expanded text ad, like
Okay.
headlines. Yeah.
Okay, so you give like so to give more like broad to your ad, so you give like 3 different types of headlines to each one. Okay, great.
Headlines, and when you're clicking on it, it should go to that particular landing page. Suppose if I'm talking about property for rent, then I prefer you to take people to the particular page where you are talking about rental properties.
Great, thank you so much.
Great. Any other questions? You could guys put it in the chat box, say it out loud. No? Okay, cool. Well, I think that wraps up the session with Navi. Navi, thank you so much for delivering this very dense and interesting topic. Everyone, so Mustafa is asking the recorded link. So typically we don't provide the recorded link, but we can see what we can do. But otherwise, we don't send the recording link for the mini classes in particular. But what you can benefit from, Navi, can you please go to the last page or the page after this actually? Only yeah. But we do offer is that there will be at Astrolabs, we have many courses that are super relevant to what you've been learning right now, particularly with Google Ads, anything around digital marketing overall. And these are the examples that we have over here. These are much longer courses, so you get like a longer, more in-depth experience of the topics. So for anyone interested, please hit the www.ashlabs.com/academy, and you'll have access to all of these courses that you could openly register to. So feel free. And again, let me put my address in the email address over here. It's just my name @astrolabs.com. Feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any questions regarding the courses that we offer, their courses, workshops, bootcamps, etc. And so that wraps up our session. So Navia, thank you very much. And everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to attend. And I hope you all have a good day. Yep.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Take care. Sure, of course. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.